Hello and welcome to this August alignment from Divine Me Time. This is Beth. If you enjoy this talk and practice, check out the rest of my offerings at divinemetime.com. Don't divide, divine. I've been thinking a lot about this month's alignment for several months actually, and I struggled to settle on a topic. I had a lot of false starts, abandoning topics that initially had momentum, but that fizzled out for some reason or other as I tried to write about them. Perhaps my usual inspiration is currently being tested by my own unresolved challenges. Perhaps it's because time is moving so fast. It's already August. I can't believe it. And what is topical one day is not so much so the next. Perhaps human consciousness is shifting in unpredictable ways, making it hard to zero in and stick with one thing. Whatever the reason, one question led me here. Asking myself, what is most critical for humans to understand? I can't help but return to the overarching message of Divine Me Time, my whole reason for being here. We need to reclaim our relationship to our own divinity. Critical thinking isn't enough. Psychological healing isn't enough. Our future is entirely dependent upon whether or not we can transcend our ego identification, which has managed to corrupt, confuse, and confound at every level, and which is leading us to a collective dystopia and ultimately our destruction. You are here, so I assume the word divine isn't something that triggers thoughts of religious trauma or scientific speculation. But for how many of us is the symbol something that causes an automatic dismissal of whatever follows because of some conscious or unconscious history or belief structure? It's a huge problem. The word God itself is a trigger for so many. Our concepts of God and what is holy have been corrupted along with every other symbol, and religion as well as science has been used ironically to keep us small and controlled instead of connected and empowered. A quote from Gnostic wisdom: "Salvation is the knowledge of who we were, what we have become, where we were, and whither we are hastening." We must reclaim our divinity, not in the egomaniacal ways driven by our ignorance and disconnect, but in the acceptance of a greater whole and greater good, to which we are, in fact, all connected and all a part. So what's the way back? There's only one. We must remember that what happens to one of us affects us all. The origins of the word divine mean of or belonging to God, as well as Deva or shining one. This is the truth of our being. We belong to the whole. We are light. Everything else is mere appearance, however convincing. Contrarily, the function of the ego is to divide. Divide's original meaning is to loosen, cut, or separate into parts. Interestingly, some related words include demagogue, demiurge, democracy, demon, and even epidemic. Look at those carefully and draw whatever conclusions you will. Clearly, division separates us and is the very opposite of divinity. We see it everywhere, and we are constantly reminded to remember that we're separate. We're taught to hate at very young ages. And I don't just mean hating others or people who are different than ourselves. We're also taught to hate our very self. And I would venture to say that whether or not intentional, this conditioning has magnified since you or I were children. Perhaps a result of the information era, social media toxicity, or a natural decline of any civilization when those in power fear losing it. Quote, "The essence of Christ's teachings lies in the realization that divinity is not an external entity to be worshipped, but an internal truth to be awakened. Greg Braden. How do we return to coherence? I was thinking the other day about the dreadful disaster in Venezuela a month or so ago, and how people from all over the world have come together like a group of white blood cells in a broken body to help those suffering. But is it not terribly ironic that while when natural disaster strikes, humans tend to unite in compassion to support those affected, at the same time, we cause all manner of destruction ourselves through war and call it good and just when an enemy suffers? That is not mentally coherent. It makes no sense and is a good example of what the ego is capable of justifying. We are in desperate need of sense-making and must be on guard to those that would abuse that need by filling it with the most convenient, most ego-appealing, most instantly satisfying answers. People in fear will always gravitate towards the loudest voices, when what is most needed are the quiet ones, the inner ones, the ones that can only be heard in the heart. This month's alignment practice. This month, let us challenge ourselves to align to our divinity, yes, but also to hold that alignment for others who have succumbed to division. Let us remember that we are all of the one source, brothers and sisters all, each as holy as the next. Let us remember each time we see some horror served to us through media or elsewhere, even in person, which can be more difficult, that it is a mere illusion meant only to keep us from our power and in fear. And in that moment, let us choose an act of love and compassion, be it for ourselves, someone we love, or a complete so-called stranger. When we hear the distorted messages of hate and blame, or justifications for the division and injustice, let us have the fortitude to say to ourselves or out loud, "This is wrong, this is a lie, this isn't who or what we are, this isn't what we want." Let us proclaim it fearlessly for ourselves and for those with no voice. Then let us choose in that moment to celebrate beauty, love, truth. Let us play and create something fresh and heart-aligned. Let us not divide. Let us divine. So let us now enter meditation together. I'll ring the bell to begin, and I'll ring the bell again after 10 minutes at the end. In the silence in between, focus on connecting with your own divinity. And a final quote from Amrit Ray. Divinity is the state of being connected with the source. It is the state when your heart is full with love, compassion, and caring. It is the state when your mind is full of joy, equanimity, peacefulness, and happiness. It is the state when you are relaxed, energetic, focused, joyful, creative, and compassionate. That ends this month's alignment. I'll see you next time.